these new devices are great not only for consuming media, but also creating it. With the advent of 4G networks, users will be enabled to use high-quality video over wireless networks like never before. Today, I'm going to demonstrate for you Movie Studio, a new Android application which allows users to edit videos. It's an application built from the ground up for the tablet form factor. So let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to open Movie Studio. You're going to see that I have here a few projects that I've been working on, and I prepared a project for the purpose of this demo. Now, in this project, I already imported 3 images and 1 video clip. As you can probably tell, on the first image, I already added a title that says that I've pretty much enjoyed my trip back in time in Barcelona. What I would like to show you is some of the customizations you can bring to Movie Studio to fit your artistic ability. So one of the things we can do is we can reorder these media items in the movie timeline. How about I grab this nice picture of the National Palace and move it right after the first picture. I really like this one, so let's take a quick look at it and add a special effect to it. How about a pan and zoom effect? So I'll select pan and zoom. Now I have the ability to change independently the start and the end rectangle. So let's leave the start where it is. And for and, maybe I'll just do a little bit of zoom just for the effect. There we go. I could customize this project in many other ways. I can change the duration of images in the timeline. I could trim the beginning or end of video clips. I can add color effects to my photos and to my video clips. Now let's look towards the end of the movie. This is a video clip I took. I don't want my movie to end this abruptly, and therefore I was thinking a nice fade to black transition will look good at the end. So let's select that. And my movie is almost done, but I think something is missing. I know. I think a nice background audio track would make this movie interesting, so I believe that it would be appropriate to select some Spanish guitar tune. So I'll import that into my movie. And we are ready to preview this movie now. Okay. That will give you an idea of how the movie will look like. How about, let's watch that transition at the end. Good. I'm happy with that. Now, once you have the movie set up the way you want it, how about we'll export this movie, make it a real movie, and we'll select the movie size. So we'll make it 720p, and the quality, let's say high, and export it. Now, I'm not going to export this now. It would take a little bit of time, and we don't have that now. So I already did that before this demo. And I'm ready now to share this movie with my friends on YouTube. I'm going to select that I want to share it on YouTube. Well, let's just call it Barcelona 2011. How appropriate. And there you go. The upload has started. Now, I hope I get happy here with my network connection in a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch to YouTube. And we're going to look in my channel where I usually see my downloads. Let's just wait a little bit.
And we should mention, by the way, that this is the new Honeycomb operating system.
It sure is. And I hope everyone will enjoy the new Honeycomb release on the Zoom tablet. This is the part where we have to be
Yes,
patient.
this is the problem of having a networking convention. Everyone is on the network, including the special networks.
That's right. Any minute now. I think they will just have to trust me that the movie is there.
This is a Google engineer saying, trust me.
Either way, the movie is public, so they can enjoy it on YouTube after the show.
You can see it on YouTube.
That's right. I hope you enjoyed this short run-through to the features of Movie Studio. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Gil Dobzhansky. Thank you very much, Gil. So I wanted to show you that because I wanted to give you a sense of the power of the world that we're seeing, again, all in this particular case on a new and upcoming tablet on top of the Android platform. And when you play with Honeycomb, you'll see the sense of beauty and power that you get with this new user interface that we have invented. I think you're really going to like it. I just absolutely love it. Google today can be understood in a different form. Going back to what I was saying earlier, you can think of what we're trying to do at Google is to get you to something very fast. That we ultimately believe that speed matters, that your time matters, that we want to get you back to being human and not a slave to the computer, network delays notwithstanding today. And so, if you think about it with our search properties, we've done a lot of things. People here have played with Google Instant. All of a sudden, quick, you can sort of see previews of pages along the side. You can see it over and over again. The investments that we've made in underlying data center architecture and search architecture allows us to do this. And it's interesting at the point now where we can answer the question as you're typing them, and this saves between 2 to 5 seconds per search, according to our measurements. Well, if you assume, many, many hundreds of millions of users of Google every day, the savings in terms of hours and decades and so forth per day of human productivity we're very proud of. Plus, it's a really neat feature, and people really like it a lot. So when you think of Google, that's just an example of many, think of speed. What happens next with search is it becomes even more personal, that with your permission, give us more information about yourself, be logged in and what have you, we can give you even more personally tailored answers. Next after that, let's call it autonomous search. Here I am, I'm in the streets of Barcelona. I happen to like history. As I walk along, my phone tells me the history of the beautiful architecture, Gaudi, and so forth and so on, as I walk or drive the streets. I don't have to type the search in. The search is me and my interests with a GPS on a phone. You sit there and you go, oh, that's kind of interesting. Well, that's just the beginning of a large number of new apps that can be built that use that infrastructure to make a big difference. And search is also fundamentally understanding about what you mean. When I say, what's the weather like, it really means, should I wear a raincoat? Or does it mean, do I want to water the plants? So the more I know about you, the more Google knows about you. Again, you have to decide you want to do this. And many people will choose not to do this. Those who do, all of a sudden will be able to get even more personal results. We have lots and lots of examples of this, and in fact, as part of our investment in underlying search infrastructure, we're also working to provide more structured data. We're literally working to sort of extract, to move from syntax to semantics, to understand that when you do a travel search, you're asking about pretty structured data, whether it's hotels or airlines, and they will take you to the appropriate sites that have all of the best information about that, and then you can decide what you want to do. We've already talked about mobile and the mobile platform, which is a core part of what we're doing, and mobile search is a core part of our business. In Chrome, another important part of this, the Chrome browser has been growing very, very quickly. We have more than 120 million active users, and it's up three times in the last year, and it's 6 times faster. So if you're using a traditional browser, I think you should use Chrome. More importantly, because Chrome plus various library extensions and developer additions that we're working on will provide a programming platform for this next generation of cloud-based applications that I'm talking about, that we're demoing, and so forth and so on. We also have as a component, a monetization component, because I learned a long time ago you can have really smart engineers, no money to pay them. Furthermore, the developers, as much as they love a platform and the beauty of this, they'll go where the volume is and where they can make some money. So not only do we have a strong monetization platform in our traditional AdWords business, which everybody here knows about, but we also have it, for example, in YouTube. 35 hours of video uploaded every minute. Shocking. More than 2 billion views per day. 160 million mobile views per day, more than double in the last year and accelerating. And the business is, of course, doing well. The revenue doubled in 2010. We're finally now being able to monetize professional content at rates that are approaching what we need to build significant businesses for those partners. We have a display business, which is also taking off, which shows these powerful display ads, which show up both on traditional desktops as well as mobile devices. And indeed, one of the key things about software applications for mobile is they're going to want to have an advertising component unless they're selling the apps for $1 or $2, and we want to make sure to do that. So what does this mean architecturally? At some level, there's a disruption. Many of you are part of that. You feel that disruption. And I want to be clear that we understand that this is disruptive. We don't have our heads in the sand. We understand that these are scale disruptions. They matter. They affect people's businesses and so forth. In many ways, it's part of a pattern that's existed in humanity for a long time. There's a quote from Joseph Schumpeter. Capitalism inevitably leads to a perennial gale of creative destruction. And I would argue that the internet is fundamentally replacing the economics of scarcity with the economics of ubiquity. And so in a situation where you have very low cost of distribution and essentially infinite number of high-quality copies, it affects lots and lots of businesses. And I would argue that this is both terrifying and exciting. It's exciting because of the scale, right? You can reach a billion people worldwide in a month or 2 months or 6 months or what have you. You could never do that before because of the power of the internet, the pervasive nature of what all of us have built together. But it's terrifying because it all has to do with information, and information is what people care about more than anything else. And you'll see this with repressive governments. You'll see this in all sorts of ways play out over the next few years. And we'll be part of all these debates because about privacy and numerous other issues, and I think the debate is very healthy, and I'm sure we'll have it in the Q&A as well. But what I will tell you is that we're listening about all of these issues because we're part of it as you are as well. So I want to finish my comments and get to your questions or comments by talking about the next decade. I'm a computer scientist. I believe very strongly in the optimism of what we can do with computers and science to make the world a better place. And I'm one of these people who believes that if you look at problems we talk about all the time, global warming, terrorism, financial transparency, these can all be aided very significantly by computer science and by the information that we can make available. That fundamentally transparency, right, the ability to sort of analyze and see what governments are doing, for example, helps the body politic become better. These are fundamentally information problems, and that's what computer science is about. So let's think about this world over the next few years, and by the way, pretty soon, within a year or two, with these phones that I'm talking about, which all of you have, and the tablets that many of you have, and that with many more coming this year. Well, let me give you an example. You never forget anything, right? Computers are interesting. Computers are very good at making lists, remembering things, and keeping memories of what we do, which is precisely what we're not good at. So starting soon, again, if you choose to, it'll be possible to remember the hotels that you stayed at, where you went, the pictures that you took, the friends that you met with, so that you can refer back to that. Pretty powerful kinds of things. I just forget. Everybody forgets. Human memories are not accurate, but computer memories live forever. Another example, you're never lost. You know, when I was a boy growing up in Europe, I was always lost, right? I was lost as a teenager, lost in college, right? You'd have to go buy the map. I couldn't afford them, and so forth and so on. Now you're never lost. When was the last time you had a good being lost experience, right? It just does not happen. Not only do we know now where you are down to the meter, but soon we'll be able to do it down to the centimeter because of the accuracy of these signals, right? I mean, you have to turn your computer off to get lost, and you would never turn off your computer, right? So you'll never get lost. It's this bizarre property of all of this. And by the way, with your permission, all your friends know where you are too. So they can also find you. And what's interesting is that people who love the Earth can love it more, right? I think all of us feel strongly about how the planet, our only planet, is so important. You can learn using the tools and techniques, things like Google Earth and Maps and all the other services, not